Good morning, homesteaders, gardeners, and cooks. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to Miles Away Farm. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. Today, I am making some pork ribs, and this is from a half a pig that I actually bought in 2021. So it's actually been in my freezer for almost 2 years now, a year and a half. When you get a half a pig, you don't get a ton of ribs, but it's nice to get a package of them every once in a while. And because we have a 3-day weekend coming up, I thought I would finally get around to actually making these ribs. This recipe, I've probably had it since the early 90s, and I cut it out of a newspaper and then made a photocopy of it because it's easier to throw it in a binder that way. I don't remember if this was from the Bay Area or if this was from Colorado, and it's from Carol Ann's Kitchen, spicy country style ribs. Originally, it was made for country style pork ribs, which are basically just random slabs of pork cut into long, skinny pieces. If you look up country style pork ribs on, like where does that come from on the pig, it's all over the place. It's really just a way for them to utilize kind of bits and bobs. And so it's a random mix of stuff. However, this method is really simple. I love it. It's mostly hands off. It's not, a slow cooked barbecue, spend 8 hours, baste every 30 minutes kind of recipe. This is a quick, easy recipe. I've been making it for many, many years. It comes out delicious and is very simple. And that's what we're going to do today. So the original recipe did not call for bone-in ribs, but I've made it with bone-in ribs many times and it works delightful. Let's get started. So I'm cutting this recipe in half from its original amounts. This is a tablespoon of homemade cayenne pepper, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of black pepper. I've got a gallon of water here, and I had to cut these ribs in half, so they're half the length that they came in. I'm going to bring this pot of water to a boil with these spices. A tablespoon of hot sauce. You can use whatever you happen to have. That's a homemade one that we have around. And then a chopped large onion. This is, I swear to God, I promise, my last homegrown onion from last year. It was a good use for it. You're going to bring that to a full rolling boil and boil these ribs for 15 minutes. And then you're going to turn the heat off and let it just sit in that hot water for an hour. So this is after an hour of just sitting in hot water. Basically, the ribs are fully cooked at this point. And there is some silver skin on one side of this. You can remove that. I was lazy and did not. And that's why they have that little bit of curl, is that silver skin is pulling on them. I don't mind the flavor of it, and so I don't bother removing it because it's very fiddly. But feel free. Traditionally, you would take that off. This is homemade barbecue sauce. And we're just gonna get those going on the grill. And this meat is fairly thin and it is fully cooked. And so it is really easy to overcook this and dry them out. And so you don't want to cook them for very long. You're just trying to get a little bit of a smoky flavor and a little bit of a nice char on there. I do 10 minutes aside typically on something this size, and I am flipping them silver skin side down just so they're not curling. And I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit once I get these basted. And I'm just going to liberally lather these with that homemade barbecue sauce on the upside. Turn my heat down to medium and give that about 10 minutes. My temperature is sitting at about 350. Give them a flip. Another nice dose of barbecue sauce. And then it's done. So total actual active cooking time on this, less than 30 minutes. And then like all meat, it always is helpful to let things rest for 5 or 10 minutes before you serve it, just to give time for all the juices to reabsorb. I'm doing a quick taste test here, just cutting off an end piece. You can see this isn't falling off the bone tender, so it's not like a really good slow barbecue, but it is absolutely tender enough that I can pull little pieces off. It's tender to the bite, the bones pull right out. And so a little bit of chew, but really delicious, and certainly a whole lot less fuss and work for a barbecue pork rib dinner than if you were to do it the old-fashioned way with a smoker for a very, very long period of time. Now I'm just going to serve these up. We're having barbecued ribs, extra barbecue sauce, of course, because yum. And then I have some roasted potatoes here. I'm a member of America's Test Kitchen, and this was a test recipe that I got to test for them, which was really fun. Mustard roasted potatoes with rosemary. And then I served that with a little side salad, and dinner is served. Beautiful. This is a really great recipe, you guys. Been making it forever. Very tasty and super easy. Give it a try. Thanks for watching, Tribe. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment, and share. I have new content coming out every week.